Welcome to Roasted Spins. My name is Steve Green, and on this channel we talk about coffee and music. This is kind of my personal journey to discovering coffees from around the world, and I'll share with you what I find, as well as talking about all different kinds of music that I like, whether it's rock and roll, heavy metal, jazz, soundtrack music. So if you like coffee and music, make sure to like and subscribe. The coffee that I'm going to talk about today is Germack Thailand. I discovered it only last week while I was down in Eastern Market, and I overheard the barista saying to the customer in front of me that apparently Thailand has never exported coffee traditionally, but they just started. So this coffee, Thailand, is one of their first exports, I guess, and it really is super delicious. This is one of the most unique coffees that I've tasted in quite a long time. When you first take a sip, you can notice the cocoa and caramel that they're talking about in the flavor notes. But afterwards, that grapefruit that they're saying it's almost like it is like a sourness, and it kind of floats there after a minute and then goes away. But most coffees that I've ever had don't have that kind of aftertaste like that. And I believe that's what they're calling the grapefruit in the flavor notes. I definitely recommend it to anybody who likes something a little out of the ordinary. It's got a really unique taste. It's a medium roast, and I'm looking forward to checking out more stuff that Germack has. They have a whole wall full of different kinds of coffees from all over the globe. So now that they're on my radar, I'll be checking out pretty much all their flavors over time. The record that I'm listening to today, along with my coffee, is 1974's Death Wish by Herbie Hancock. It is an outstanding soundtrack that has all organic instruments and some synthesizers, all played by hand. So it's got a very human feel to it. The band he used on this record is, of course, the Headhunters band, which they've worked together on many albums. The personnel on this album in particular is, of course, Herbie Hancock. And listen to all the instruments that he alone plays. Piano, Fender Rhodes electric piano, Hohner D6 clavinet, ARP Odyssey, ARP Soloist, ARP 2600, and the ARP String Ensemble. And then the other people, Detroit native Benny Maupin, who plays a bunch of different kinds of saxophones, bass clarinet, and even flute sometimes. The bassist is Paul Jackson. Percussion's handled by Bill Summers. The drums are handled by Mike Clark. And last, that traditional, awesome wah guitar that's kind of sprinkled all over the place on this record is by Wah Wah Watson. Special note has to be given to Jerry Peters, who was the conductor and did all the string arrangements and some other arrangements on the record. So he definitely contributed a nice organization and structure to some of the songs on there. The music is absolutely incredible on this record. It's a whole bunch of people in a room playing songs, incredibly proficient and talented musicians, and you can just hear it. It's live. It's not sequenced through a computer. You can hear the humanity all over the music. There's many instruments, so there's tons of different flavors and timbres and textures, and it gives the movie much more feel and vibe than if it didn't have that score, for sure. One of the notes that I read online somewhere, somebody said, yeah, the first two songs are great, but after that, it doesn't mean anything unless you're watching the film. And I couldn't disagree more. I mean, what is a movie score but to propel the movie forward and to paint texture and vibe and fill in the cracks with detail and feeling? That's what this album is, 100%. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's absolutely fantastic sounding. The arrangements are great. There's strings that come in sometimes, real orchestra strings, along with the synthesizer strings and all the different flavors that Latin percussion brings in that Bill Summers is playing. And then the wah guitar, like I was saying earlier, comes in sprinkled around, and it's just so much flavor. I totally recommend this album to anybody who likes good fusion, like jazz fusion. It's kind of got some Latin rhythms mixed with jazz. Totally supports the film, especially from that era. It's a perfect score to me. So I totally recommend Death Wish soundtrack by Herbie Hancock. It was produced by David Rubinson, and of course Death Wish was directed by Dino De Laurentiis, and it starred Charles Bronson. Came out in 1974. It's kind of a revenge film that was popular around that time. There was a handful of ones made in the similar vibe. As a matter of fact, some people compare New York Ninja, which my band Voyager 3 scored, as kind of like a death wish with a ninja. So that whole era, about a decades long time back in the mid 70s to mid 80s, had a lot of those revenge films happening. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos of me talking about different kinds of coffee I find and some more records from my album collection. Until next time.